Well, good morning, everybody. Good morning, Chris. Glad to see you here.
Hi, Debbie.
Good to see you. It's been a while. Actually, I get to see you on Friday. Yay.
Yep.
It'll be fun. So we get the My Real Source golf team together, go hit Midland, and support the associations that we vendor. So we have marketing with MarketStats today. So Chris uses this program very heavily and does a lot to it. He's got some extra pieces to show you, but there's a couple of cheat sheets that I wanted to tell you about. In your GoToWebinar panel on the side, there are 3 handouts there. One piece is the lead generation piece. We've got comparing 2 different cities and the new cities, a grouping of cities, all of the St. Clair Shores? No, all of the points. One of those around there. So all of the gross points are typically lumped in together. So we ended up having MarketStats lump it together for us. We've got the reporting in there. So Chris is going to go through how many different ways to use it and market yourself on this one. I will be in the background as usual answering any questions that you guys might have. So take it away, Mr. Nixon.
Thank you, Debbie. When we go over the class today, we'll be going over MarketStats like Debbie said. I'm going to turn my video feed off so that you can just focus on my screen. And right now, Debbie, is my screen showing my my Real Source screen?
Yep, Paragon is up.
Paragon is up. Okay, so I'm going to take my face off of here so that we can just focus on the screen and we'll go from there. If you have any questions, type them in the bottom there under the questions and Debbie will answer them or interrupt me and we'll go from there. The class is right around an hour, doesn't really go past that, so we'll be out of here in short order and I appreciate you guys for logging in today. Thank you. So here we are with MarketStats. MarketStats is a great tool. I use it quite a bit. I was a little reluctant at first because it seemed complicated. The more and more I used it, the easier it became to use. And it is now one of my go-to resources whenever I'm talking to anybody for anything. I also use it as part of my marketing campaign. I'll show you how I do things with it. Feel free to go about it on your own, but it's a super fast and efficient way to get gives you great touch points to your clients and everything else like that. So MarketStats is easy to find. We'll start off with our Paragon main screen or home screen. Yours may look a little differently if you've changed some of the headings and everything, but the tabs will all be the same. MarketStats, we get to it by accessing the resources. Oops, resources. And then in the second column under social media where it says MarketStats, we select MarketStats. There are 2 main tabs up here in the top that we're going to concentrate on, InfoSparks and FastStats. The first one I'm going to go over is FastStats. That's just because I do it in that order in this class. The biggest reason I use FastStats is when somebody asks me, hey, Chris, how's the market doing? The first question I always ask them is, where do you live or what market are you interested in? Because as you'll see when I demonstrate this and go through kind of quickly and show you some things, the market for Sterling Heights where I live is much different than the market for Shelby, Warren, and everything else. And it's even different than the overall Macomb County data or Oakland County data or whatever. And so the reason I ask them is because I want to demonstrate my knowledge of my local markets to them, to kind of show them that I'm a little bit better realtor than most. And I don't want to also give them information that can be easily, that they can find out isn't quite right or contradicted. So whenever someone asks me how the market is doing, the first question I always ask them is, well, what market are you interested in, or where do you live, or something similar to that. And then I'll give them the data by going through FastStats. We'll open that up, and you'll see that we have all these different areas that we can give them market data information on, including 3 new areas that My Real Source is now providing to you as a member of My Real Source. You get these different areas: Clare County, Gladwin County, and Bay County. Quickly, as a side note, these 3 areas, we just recently added them. You will get the entire county is what you'll get. You won't get the individual cities within the counties, but still we're able to provide this information to clients that may be looking up there. Either they live up there, they're looking to sell a home, or looking for vacation property up there, second home up there. In the rest of them, the ones that are all blue, we can get individual data for the cities. So for instance, when I said, what city do you live in or what area are you interested in, let's say they say Sterling Heights, I select Macomb County, just move your cursor over Macomb County, and then you have all the cities or municipalities within Macomb County. You simply select the county or the city you're interested in, and up it comes. This is what it looks like. It's pre-formatted. The colors, you can't change the colors. And this is how it looks. It always has residential and condo, including the median sales price for residential and condos down here on the bottom. This up here, this first chart for residential is comparing month to month from a year ago. So this is July 2023 compared to July 2022. And as you can see, the average sale price right now is up 1.25% from July of last year. And the year to date, meaning from January 1 till the end of July, it's actually up 0.4%. So year to date is through this month from the first of the year. The information in here is updated somewhere around the 12th or the 15th of the month. So we're not going to be able to see August data until mid-September, or first couple weeks of September. So right now they're showing the July information still. So going back to FastStats, when we look at Shelby Township right here, we'll open up Shelby Township real quickly. And as you can see, Shelby Township average sale price is up is actually down 3.3% compared to July of last year, but overall it's up 1.4% through the beginning of the year. So by knowing that, here's Sterling Heights, and if you look, like I said, Sterling Heights, the average sale price was up 1.4% and only up 0.4%. So I want to give them the information that's going to reflect the area where they live. So when I ask them that question and say, hey, Chris, how's the market doing? And I say, well, what area are you interested in? And they tell me, then if I don't have their email or phone number in order to text them, I'll ask them for that information right there. I'll open up my phone, create their contact if I already don't have it, and then I'll usually text this to them real quickly. I'll pull it up and I'll send it to them. I'll show you towards the end of the class an easy way to get this on your phone without going through a whole lot. It's super simple. I've done it at I had kids that played sports. We'll be at different sporting events that they were at. Parents were talking to me because they knew I was in real estate. They asked me, and within a couple minutes I'd lean over and say, hey, I just sent some information. Let me know if you need anything else. That gave me a reason to follow up with them. So from a marketing tool, when someone asks me that question, if I don't have their email and or cell phone number already, I'll get that information from them. I'll send this to them. Now I have somebody I can drip on, whether it's 6 months or 2 months or whatever I feel I need to drip on. I'm going to add them to my marketing campaigns. So it starts off with the questions, how's the market doing? I go to my FastStats and I open up the city where they're interested in, and I get them that information. Some other just general things with FastStats that I want to share with you. You can do the overall Macomb County report. We'll go back by opening up the individual county, and then in the lower right corner, you have the View Macomb County report. Select that, and it'll pull up the information. All the reports are going to look the same. As you can see, if you look at my tabs up top, this is Macomb County, Shelby Township, and Sterling Heights. My page didn't move. The only thing that changed was the heading and the numbers all inside as we go back across. But here it is for Macomb County. So the average sales price for Macomb County from July to July is actually up 2.6%. Also, I'm just going to close out some of these. Also in FastStats, for instance, Debbie was talking about the points. We'll go back, simply go back into Wayne County. Here are your view the gross point area report, because there were too many. You can You can select the gross point. Oh, here they are. They're over here. There you go. You can get the individual ones for gross point woods and all that other stuff if you do work over in the gross point areas. Same with each one of them. You have to kind of look where the breakouts are. They couldn't fit Gibraltar in here, so it's down here. River Rouge is over here. Wherever there's not room, you have to kind of have to look where this tab is up here, and you'll see that it goes from a darker green, which is the normal, to this lighter green. Tells you that's the report you're going to pull up. The reports are great. You can turn around and email them or text them or copy them in a marketing campaign if you need to. Whenever I do a CMA, and one of the pages I include in my CMA is this market, this FastStat for that city in which the CMAs that I'm preparing them for is in. So if I'm doing one in any of them in Macomb County, let's say I'm doing somebody in Macomb Township, a CMA for them, I'm going to pull up this report, save it, and then pull it into my CMA to use as a page. If you don't know how to do that, we teach a great class on CMAs, and I show you how to do that in there. But that's where this report can be used. If you're putting together your own kind of marketing campaign, you can pull this out, print it up, and send it, include it in your marketing campaigns. Also within FastStats, on the main page, you also see we have this gray tab and these green tabs. These are two other reports that are available to you through FastStats. They're the monthly indicator and the monthly data sheet. The indicator is for the entire MLS My Real Source area that we pull our data from. You can't break this down by individual counties and municipalities. So when you select that, it gives you a pretty good report of everything with some overviews, just different types of information in here, some graphs, some charts to look at. I have used this report. I had a couple of clients who were a little more data-driven kind of people. They were some engineering type individuals, and they really liked to see some numbers. While I was talking to them about reports that could be available to them, they were interested, so I emailed it to them. I look at this from time to time just to fill myself in and be a little bit more familiar what's going on with the overall area, just so I can kind of see what's happening in what I term Southeast Lower Michigan, our general market area. Even though it's a bigger, kind of macro view of our area, I still kind of want to know, because oftentimes what you hear when you hear these economists all speaking, especially on any of the national forums that they'll speak at, they don't really dial it into Southeast Lower Michigan. They talk in terms of hot markets across the United States, et cetera, et cetera. Well, our market is certainly different than Arizona or Georgia or California or anywhere else. So I want to be more in tune and be able to speak more knowledgeable with what's going on in Southeast Lower Michigan. And this report really helps gives you that information. Gives you a few talking points in here you can talk about for our area, and then you can get more specific by going into the local market updates. The other thing that we have available to us through FastStats is called the monthly data sheet. If we select that green tab right there, this is another report that is also only for the entire My Real Source area. Select that, and it pulls up the different counties in the area, and you can see what the different counties that are in our area. This compares county by county. This report, it's a 2-page report, as you can see. And what I use this for is I have investors that are trying to figure out where best to invest their dollars. They want to know what areas are kind of doing better than others. This is a great tool if you're working with people who are looking for properties in a certain area and want to do a quick comparison to other areas. I also use this with clients that have to be in one area and they're not quite sure, for work. Maybe they work in one place, but one wants to live over on one side and the other part of the relationship wants to live on the other side. This can kind of let them know between two counties, a little bit of quick data for them if they're looking into that. You can do the same thing by going through FastStats and sending them the individual areas, but this is a report that's a macro view again of what's going on with a county by county comparison. So this information is available for you. Maybe you don't use it, maybe you do, but this is just wanted to show you where it's at. I don't use this one that much. I have used the monthly indicators a little more. The only time I've really used the monthly data sheet is, like I said, when I had some investors, they were looking to buy in several areas around here, and I gave them that report to help them get a better determination where they were going to go. The monthly indicators, like I said, I like this report. I read through this occasionally, about once every 4 months or so. I'll pull it up just to refresh myself with what's going on. The one I use the most and I spend the most time in is local market updates. This is the report I use. I have so many different uses for this. It's absolutely one of the pages I include in any CMA that I'm going to produce. And also, it's one of the things I send out to anybody who asks me how the market's doing. So that is FastStats. It's pretty quick. It's pretty simple. It's very easy to use. It's kind of, you don't have to have, it is a very short learning curve to be able to use it. A couple of clicks and you have the information. Now, remember when I said, hey, my clients ask me, how can you get them the information quickly? I'm sitting at a sporting event or a dance recital or something else where my kids are at. One of the parents asks me how the market's doing. I say, as always, well, what market are you interested in? They tell me the area. Now I'm sitting there with my phone. How do I get them that information? Because you don't have access and you can't log on to Paragon easily through the phone. If you haven't had the Paragon Connect app, a very easy way to get through this is through your showing time app. If you're an agent that's showing any kind of homes, you're going to have the showing time app on your phone, or you should. And although I'm showing it to you off of my screen here, once the main screen for showing time comes up, it looks the same on your phone. I can't interface my phone in this class very easily. So I'm just going to open up showing time as if I was on my phone, and I opened up my app. On the left side of the app, you will see this menu bar. It's on your app. It's on the left side of your screen. You come down to reports, open up the reports tab, and here are all the reports you can get from showing time. The first one is right here, MarketStats. On your screen on your phone, you can enter MarketStats, and then this will pop up. You come over to the top to FastStats. FastStats opens up. You open up the local market update is the default screen that opens up. You select your county, you select your city, and then on the phone, I just on my phone I touch this. I have an iPhone, and then I go to the little box with the arrow to send it. Have their information. I just send this as a text right to them, and they have it. So the steps are the same for showing time. You go to showing time on the left side of the screen, reports, MarketStats, and then it takes you just follow the steps right through to FastStats and you get to it. That's how quickly it is to send something, in a regular football timeout. I can turn around and send this to a parent that quickly that I'm sitting next to by going through my showing time app. So that is, FastStats is pretty quick. It's very easy. As I said, I use it quite a bit. There's another tool that I do is every 6 months. So at the beginning of January, when the December data comes out or the year-to-date data comes out, and just now in July, in June, at the end of June or middle of July, when all the June data came out, I send to all my clients, it's a couple hundred emails, I send them the market stats and what I'm going to show you in InfoSparks. Yes, it takes a couple hundred emails, sounds like a big deal. I don't have a CRM system, so I've kind of grouped my clients into certain city areas so that I'll show you what I'm going to do now. I'll show you that next, how I kind of group them. And then it's very easy to send the reports out. And in that report, I include this FastStats for the specific city that they live in. It's a great tool. It takes me about, I don't know, altogether 2 days, a couple hours each day to send out all the emails, but it allows me to stay in touch with my clients minimum twice a year, giving them good information. And it also gives me a reason to call them within a week after I send it out, just to touch base with them, follow up with them, see how they're doing. And oh, by the way, did you get the email that I sent you? Do you have any questions about it? Gives me a reason to reach out to them. And I do this twice a year. It's part of my marketing campaign. If you're a bigger client, if you have a bigger client base and use a CRM, or one of your brokers has a CRM that you can use, and this email is something that you can load up, then you create your own email and use this information to send out. I highly recommend that you get familiar with how to do this, because it becomes a very, very cost-effective marketing tool to get information to your clients, and then gives you a reason to do a follow-up call with them. So FastStats is one of the pages that I do keep in this email that I send out. The other part that I use is back in MarketStats, is what comes up as a default page, InfoSparks. InfoSparks allows you to compare up to 4 areas, I'll show you that in a second, with these different tabs down below. And it's a really nice tool. So as I said, we have 4 areas, sticking with where I'm familiar with, Sterling Heights. You start typing and it drops in. As you see, Sterling Heights is right there. We'll go the next area, that's your first tab, and it's blue. The line is blue. Sterling Heights appears over here in the right margin. If you look just to the right of your first tab, it says add an area. If you select that, now it turns green, gives you a green line, and you can enter the next city up here. We're going to go with Shelby Township. Shelby Township is right there. Select that, it drops in. The next area, to the immediate right, you can add an area. It turns gray, gray line corresponds with it. We're going to do Clinton Township. Now, if you notice with Clinton Township, there are 3 Clinton Townships that appear. To make sure you're using the right one, if you're not familiar with it, the ones that start with 50 are Oakland County. You don't want to use this Clinton Township because it's the wrong one. It's not in our MLS, or this one. It's in another part of the state. So you want to use Clinton Township, the one that starts with a 50. And the last area we're going to use, we'll just put Macomb Township in here. They're kind of around each other. Oops. Select the tab, Macomb Township. If you look, all of these start with a 50, which tells me they're in Macomb County. I think Oakland County starts with 63 or 64. But anyways, that gives you up to 4 areas. Like I said, you get a corresponding color line down below, and their data appears over here in the far right. You have, right off the bat, without doing anything else, you can look at the average and median sales price, new listings, homes for sale. You can see all the way across here the different tabs that you can look at: price per square foot, showings per listing, and the charts just change automatically for you, whatever you select. Right now, we're going to leave it under average sale price. Just that's the screen I want to work in. Under each tab, as you see, you can customize everything if you wanted to. For my general purposes, the 2 things I only really customize is I want to make sure I'm just in my report that I'm sending single family residential. So I want to only do residential, not condos or farms. We don't have too many farms out here, but I don't want to include the condos. So if you see these 3 tabs are kind of grayed out, and this one's a brighter white, that tells me I'm working in the Sterling Heights tab. I want to make sure I'm only including residential information. So I come down here, include residential, and I go to Shelby Township, and I change it to residential for all 4 of them. Now you can see that I'm all 4 of them are only comparing residential. The other thing that I like to do when I'm sending this in a report form, and in my write-up I say single family residential of existing homes, because I want to take out some of the new construction, because in certain areas the new construction is really driving up prices. You don't have to, it's just the way I choose to do my search when I send it. So if I want to do only new construction, the red Macomb Township tab is brighter white, which means that's the tab I'm working in. Under construction type, I select, sorry, previously owned. I want to take out new construction, so I'm going to select previously owned. As you see, the dot on the right turns blue. I'm going to do that for each one of my tabs. So now I'm looking at residential properties that were all previously owned, and I took out the information that included the new construction. I'm going to show you if you want to compare, as you see across the price ranges. This starts at 148,000. Shelby Township starts at 190. Clinton Township starts at 114. If you wanted to select, right now we're doing all price ranges. If for some reason you wanted to show people how things were doing because their price point, they wanted to be between $200,000 and $400,000, that's kind of where they were looking, and they want to see what the market's doing more specifically for the range in which they're looking, you can do that as well. So we'll start with Sterling Heights. We come up here to custom, and I clear out all this, and you can enter 200 and go to 399 or you could go 400, and it'll take you to 401, okay? And you select done. That'll make only the homes in Sterling Heights within this price range. If we go to Shelby Township and repeat the same procedure all the way down, custom homes, clear it out, 200 to 400, done. That'll compare it only for the same price range all the way through. I'm going to complete the task since I'm going through it. For the remaining two tabs, custom homes, we hit clear, we go to 200. So this is going to show me single family or residential properties, no condos, that were previously owned in these 4 municipalities in the range. This will show you how the market's doing for those single family residential homes, no condos. Sorry, I forgot to clear it. That were previously owned between $200,000 and $400,000. That's what this graph is going to show me. You could also do the same thing for square footage, number of bedrooms. You have the availability to select water type, acreage if you were looking for bigger properties. Different areas you can kind of customize through here if you want to. For right now, we're going to leave it the way it is, and I'm going to explain a couple other tabs to you. So again, you can go up to 4 areas you can search here. For instance, Sterling Heights, I've also had the case where people wanted to be in a specific zip code for whatever reason. They wanted to stay in that zip code. If you're in an area where there's multiple zip codes for which data is available, you can enter in the 3 or 4 zip codes, and it'll pull information just from those zip codes. So you can be very specific or very general with this information. I can also do Macomb, Oakland, and Wayne counties in here if I wanted to. It'll pull the same. It's the same process. So you can get very big or very small with this. So we're going to leave it the way it is with these 4 cities, with a price range between 200 and 400,000 residential properties that are all previously owned. Now that you have this, and we're staying with average sales price, there we go. And now that you have that, you have a couple more options. You can display the information in a line graph. Right here in the middle of the page, if you look, you have line, or you can go bar graph. Bar graph only goes back 3 years. The nice thing that InfoSparks does for you is this color coding symbol remains throughout. So red is always Macomb or whatever's in this 4th tab, etc. And then always on the right side, you can see the data as well. And at the top, you'll see what cities we're talking about or what you're comparing up here, because they give you a little key as well. As you move, you got it, like I said, it goes only up to 3 years in a bar graph. And as you move your cursor across the page, you see the information kind of jumps up in the middle of the page for each one of the sections you're selecting. And it only goes back 3 years. I typically use the line graph. I just like the way it looks. A line graph can go back further. It can go back 10 years. I recently had a conversation with an investor that wanted to see some long-term trends, and I said, hey, I can get you information that goes back 10 years for these areas you're interested in, the average sale price and some other things. He goes, that would be great. So I took it out to 10 years. I don't typically use 10 years. I stay right around 3 or sometimes 5 years. I like 5 years a little more. It shows you a little bit better of the trends. And the other thing that you can do is the way it is calculated, how the data is put together. Right now, we're using a rolling data. Each data point is 12 months of activity. You can go 6 months, 3 months. The one I really like the most is this top one, and you'll see how this graph dramatically changes because you can really see the monthly monthly patterns and trends when you go to monthly. So we'll select monthly. Now look at this, and you can see almost just to show you guys in the 10-year. You can see almost the same ups and downs at the same points every year. Homes for sale is a great example. Look at this is August, September, August. You know, August. It's like almost without a doubt going back 10 years. It seems around this August time is when the most homes for sale across these 3 areas, and the low point seems to be in February, March. And that's a 10-year, let me get my cursor out of the way. That's a 10-year trend right there. You can see it. It almost like you can't argue with this information. It's so easy to see when the trends are, right? So we'll leave it at 5 years. We'll leave the data selected to 1 point to the top one, which is monthly. We'll go to the average sale price right here. So here the average sales price for the last 5 years per month. And as you see, as I move my cursor across the page, that you're getting that little bubble of information to the left, showing you each month as you go. And the nice thing about this is if you send this information to your client or send it out in an email blast like I do, they can, as the people open it up and they move their cursor across the screen, it's going to function just like this. Unfortunately, you can only send one report at a time, but there's a pretty simple way to get around that, and I'll show you how I do that as well. So here you go. You have your report. This is the average sale price of homes, $200,000 to $400,000, as I said, that are residential and previously owned. The way to share this report is you come up here to where it says share. You can, by the way, before I get to the share, you can also print this out right now as it is and include it in, if you wanted to include this report in a CMA, you can. It's not interactive. It'll print out as a PDF. And all you would have to do is come up here, hit select print, and walk yourself through the steps there. But we want to share this, and you have a couple of options to share this. They're pretty easy. Select share. And now you have two. The first one is step 1, static or live. Static means that at any time when someone opens this information, it'll only report the data through the time the report was created or generated. So in my email blast, remember I told you I send it out in June and January for the 6-month things, 6-month data points, 6-month and end of year. I always send those as static. And the reason I send them as static is because if they, let's say I send the reports out in January and they go back like mid-February to look at the data, it's not going to match my description because it'll have changed a little bit because I do a little summary of what's in there. So what it means, if at any point from now when they open this information, it'll always remain to within the time frame that you set. So if you're posting this on Facebook and you say, hey, if you want to know how the market's been doing through, July of 2023, going back 5 years, click on the graph below and take a look at it. Now that's too long to write in Facebook, as you know. We want to keep it right down to 3 sentences. But if you're telling them through July 2023, you want to keep it on static. If you go to live, as it says right here, no matter when they open this chart, it will automatically update. So if you want to say, click on this link below to see how the market is doing between for residential properties previously owned under between $200,000 and $400,000 for Sterling Heights, Shelby, Clinton Township, and Macomb, and you're not making it a date or a range specific, you want to click on it live, because if they click on it this month, next month, 2 months from now, it's going to give them the latest information. So for our purposes right now, we're going to leave it as static. That's step 1. And then you have three other options. You have the PDF, which will print it out, the social media and email, embedded. You can, if you want to embed this into a blog or a website, you can select this. Or if you want to print out the data in a CSV format, I've never really used the CSV format. I use it in the social media and email. So we're going to leave it as static, social media and email. You select share, and it gives you a link that you cut and paste, and you go ahead and put it in your Facebook post. You put it in your email that you're sending out, wherever. You put this link on there, and when the recipient clicks on that and opens it up, it brings them right to this report. So I'm going to show you what that looks like in a report that I have generated. There are two things. I'm going to pull over another page to kind of show you how I actually do this, the marketing part of it that we talked about. What I did, I got to reduce this down, and then it should jump over. Here is a page I use. I created a Word document with their name and a little bit about how everything's going, a little FYI regarding the real estate market update. Here's a link to an interactive graph showing the average sales price for Shelby, Clinton Township, Sterling Heights, Macomb, and then I included this link in here. What I also did is I created the same body right here, this little paragraph, for the areas that I broke it down by where my clients live and I'm going to send the emails to. So I have a group created for Shelby, Macomb, and Sterling Heights, Fraser, Warren, Roseville, Rochester, etc. You can see that. All I would do is copy and paste this up in this body of my little Word document, and then generate the email from that. It seems like a little work, and it kind of is, but once I got the process down, I can send this out so quickly. It's it's ridiculous. And the nice thing is, once I created this email, all I have to do is change this first sentence to end, instead of second half, instead of saying through the first 6 months of 23, I'll say through the for the year ending 2023. And then I'll change this link out to the one that I'll copy in January. So I'll get rid of that and go back to my full screen so I don't mess Debbie up. That may have been a little confusing there. I was just showing you how I create a simple email, cut and paste these links in there, and then I can just put all that in my email body. I will show you the email that I sent out yesterday to my client. Here was the email for the list of market conditions. In this case, I wrote the email. I sent them all. Remember when I said you can only send one at a time? I sent them the average sales price, I think new listings. So I went up and everything stays the same. I went to share, selected share. It gave me the link. I copied that link into this email body. I have average sales price, new listing, homes for sale, these 4 or 5 categories. I put it in an email and I emailed it to them. Just like, it didn't take me very long to do that, because once InfoSparks was open, all you have to do is go to whatever tab I want to send next, days on market, grab that link, share it, and then copy and paste it into my email. What they're going to get is they're going to get this email, and then all they do is click on this link, and this is what they're going to see when it opens up. This is what your client that you email them to is going to see. It comes branded to you. Make sure you have a recent updated photo. If you don't have one, get it in there so they can see you. My cell phone, my email address, and then remember when I said as they move their cursor across the page, it bounces with them. They can see everything right here. Here it gives you the key down at the bottom, which we're doing. Tells them previously owned residential, and here's the key up at the top too, so they can see which graph line corresponds to which city, and they can come to the end and they can see, hey, in July of 2023, the average home was $406,000 for Shelby, and the average home in January of 2013 in Shelby Township was $183,000. That was, again, between the $200,000 and $400,000 range. I typically don't go down to price range. I just leave it for residential and everything else. But so these were over 10 years the average sales price of previously owned residential homes from January of 2013 were $183,000 in Shelby Township, and today that same home is worth $406,000. So this is what my investor wanted to see to try to figure out some trends. As you can see, the peaks and valleys are almost at the same time every year. He really liked it. The point is, I'm just trying to show you what these charts look like if someone clicks on it. Here's an average, we'll go average price per square foot. This was a 10-year trend that I sent them. This was all price points. So as we see, stick with Shelby, the average price point in 2013 was $87 a square foot, and we are up to $195 a square foot in today, 10 years later. So this is a graph that they will get when they actually open up their email. So it's pretty cool, looks really good for you. This is what the body email looks like, and then they just open up on any one of those and they get those. Let me close these out and we'll be all right. So that was, get back to InfoSparks. So that is what you can do with InfoSparks. It's a pretty good tool. As you know, as I just got through explaining, I use this a minimum of twice a year. I take the time and I send it out. You know, if you have an assistant that works with you, it's maybe something you can put them in charge of doing, or getting together the body of the email to where all you're doing is cutting and pasting in the information. And it's just a really, really good tool to be able to use. And once you get familiar to using it, that email I sent out to the guy, my client yesterday, it took me all of like less than 15 minutes to pull that whole email together and send it to him. Followed up with a phone call, had a conversation with him, and I actually set a meeting up for tomorrow. I'm going to go and meet with him to go over some of this information with him. So he got the information, gave me a reason to follow up with him, and I was able to set a follow-up meeting with him. So that all came out of using the InfoSparks. So that is kind of, it's an easy class. It's pretty intuitive on how to use it. I'm going to go back to our main screen and just kind of show you again as a couple of things that are going on real quickly. So just as a refresher, to get to MarketStats, we come to our main page, we open up resources, MarketStats, it defaults to InfoSparks, and we can go to FastStats to get the individuals, of which you have the 3 reports, and then here's where you can dial into the individual municipalities under FastStats. We'll go back. InfoSparks allows you to compare up to 4 different areas at a time by entering the city or zip code or town, county in here, and then you can customize it a little more if you want. You don't have to make it residential and previously owned if you want. If your point is just getting them information so that they can kind of see, it all depends on how you write up your write-up as to what information you want to give them. If it's easier for you just to send it as is, then just send it like that. You know, just be consistent of what, if you're going to send it every 6 months and end of year like I do, you just want to make sure you're sending the same, using the same data every year so they don't get really bad anomalies in there. But that's what InfoSpark allows you to do. And then you can search down here for different criteria you want to use to do comparison. We can do a line or a bar graph, and we can go back up to 10 years on a line graph, and we have different ways of interpreting the data that comes out. So that is going through the resource area. As I also showed you, you can get to either parts of these very quickly off of your phone by going through your showing time app, and when the main screen comes up, on the left side of your phone, you will see this little menu page. If it's not there, hit the 3 bars at the top to open this up, and you come down to Report tab, and then MarketStats, and then the process is the same. InfoSparks or FastStats takes you right there. So it's very easy to get to off of your showing time app on your phone. So that's kind of quickly the whole thing with MarketStats. And as a side note, I want to mention again, we do include Bay, Blair, and Gladwin counties up there. So we're expanding our footprint a little more for areas that you can search. Just a couple other things I'm going to wrap up with real quickly before we kind of end this seminar. The first thing is when you look up here at this middle bar in the middle of your screen, you have different things you can go to from My Real Source, and right here is our YouTube page. If you open up the tab to YouTube, it takes us to our YouTube page. There's all kinds of great information on there on this and any other webinars that we have done. You can go back and look at it. You can review this information. Debbie will edit it down, and there are other topics on here as well. If you want to search a topic, once our YouTube page is open, you come to where this magnifying glass is over here. Don't use this search bar up here because this takes you to YouTube search. You want to stay within the My Real Source page. So open up this little magnifying glass and we can type in MarketStats. Oh, I think I got rid of that C or it won't take it. MarketStats and hit enter, and it'll bring you up different videos on MarketStats that have been done, and you can go through them and see what the information is. The other thing you can go to is playlists, and if you look at the playlist, Debbie has grouped these, like for instance in Transaction Desk, if you look, there's 37 videos that you can find on how to use Transaction Desk and Athenasign. So you can come through the playlist. Showing Time has 11 videos if you want to brush up on how to use Showing Time. You can come here, and once you open up, for instance, we'll open up Showing Time. Don't want it to start talking. We'll stop the volume there. But here are all the videos on the right side that you can go through and open up and kind of see how to use some of the stuff with Mobile Agent, HomeSnap Pro, Premium Showing Time apps. They're all in here. They're grouped together so you can see what's going through. You can fast forward to the stuff you already know and stop and look at things that you might be a little less familiar with. Even as an instructor, and I'm up on a lot of this stuff, I do come to this playlist and open up different things because they are always updating these apps, and there's always changes being made. And quite honestly, there are some apps that are some tools that I don't use as much, and I want a little bit of a refresher for them so that I can be more efficient when I do go to use those. So that's our YouTube page. If you do come, we ask that you subscribe and like. That just helps us with our positioning on YouTube and everything else like that. That's in the YouTube page. If these handouts that Debbie's talking about, if you've taken a class and you want to go back to those handouts, or you want to pull those handouts out for whatever reason, up here in the darker blue bar where it says MLS Documents, if you open up that, you come down here where it says MIRS Education, there's 105 files. If you open that, it shows everything, all the handouts that are in here. We're working with MarketStats, so we'll do a quick search for MarketStats, and it didn't pull it up. We'll just put in Market, see if that works. There you go. Here are the ones for MarketStats that you can get right here, those PDFs that Debbie has included in the classes. They're all right in here. And that's off of the homepage, off of your My Real Source Paragon homepage up here, and the kind of the darker blue bar. There's one other thing I want to talk about really, really quickly if you're not familiar with it. Under our YouTube page, it's a newer feature that we are offering for everybody. If you haven't taken the classes and you want to learn more about it, it's Kuba Casa, if I'm pronouncing it right. I think I am. C-A-S-A.
Yeah.
There it is. It's Kuba Casa Floor Plan. This is a really, really cool tool that we now offer members of My Real Source. It basically, you can walk through a home. It doesn't have to be empty. Furniture can be in the way, and it gives you a floor plan of the house. I mean, simple put, it's a great, great tool that you can generate floor plans if you don't already have one. It's pretty accurate. I downloaded it and I went through it on my house. I followed the steps. There was a little bit of a learning curve with it, and in I think 24 hours they gave me a floor plan. It was pretty gosh darn close to what my house was. It was really, really cool. There's an upgrade you can get if you want for nominal charge that you can drop in furniture and everything else like that. So, you know, if you're someone that involves, works with a client that does flips, or you're an agent that does flips as yourself, and you don't really have floor plans and you want to include floor plans, this is a great way to get floor plans. And it's called Kuba Casa. Watch these videos, look at the overviews. It really shows you a lot. It's a great, great tool. I'm just bringing it up because it's kind of new. The word's slowly getting out there about Kuba Casa, but you know, there are a lot of uses you can use for it, and it really will help you set you apart as an agent. If you're doing a listing, now all of a sudden you can include a floor plan for a home, which you know, a lot of places don't have floor plans. And yes, we include the dimensions on the listing ticket, but sometimes that's hard to visualize, especially if you got a split level, or if you got a quad or something like that. Now you can really put together a nice floor plan for the people. So it's Kuba Casa. I highly suggest go to our YouTube page and take a look at it. That's about everything for today. InfoSparks and MarketStats through FastStats, it's a really good tool to use. I use it so often, quite a bit, as you can tell. I really like it, and once you get familiar with it, it's super, super quick to go in and use. I do use it off my phone through the Showing Time app quite a bit to send to my clients as well when they ask me that question, how's the market doing? So that's about it. Debbie, unless you have anything else you want to add in here, I'm going to end this broadcast. I appreciate you guys logging in today. Hope everyone's having a successful year and continue driving hard. As you saw, the market typically slows down a little bit, but hopefully with these tools, it gives you a few more things for you to stay in touch with your clients on a regular basis, or some more postings on Facebook just to help keep you out there and to keep demonstrating your ability as a realtor. That's it. Debbie, do you have anything else to add?
Nope, you're looking good. Thanks, Chris, as always, for a great webinar.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. You guys have a great day. Thank you.